We have multiple Duke updates as the Blue Devils remain the only undefeated team in ACC play, but lose out on a recruit who is being linked to the team, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Duke Basketball 365. If you're a Duke Blue Devil basketball fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. Now, I know it's been a while since we spoke, but we're getting back to daily uploads. Let's start it off with this right here. Jumping right into the news for today. The Blue Devils just got finished dealing a 7th loss to the Viginia Tech Hokies, moving over to them, beating them 72-58 on their home floor in what a lot of people are calling a game that was closer than the final score may indicate. Duke was up by as many as 16 points in the first half, closed out the first half kind of poorly, but in the second half, we were able to put up another outscoring Viginia Tech again, outscoring them by 5 points in the second half. And it was just more dominance out of our star, Cameron Boozer, who led the Blue Devils in points, rebounds, and assists. 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Cameron Boozer is an absolute monster. That's not news to anybody. Projected to go number 3 in every single NBA mock draft that I'm seeing right now, but we are not even thinking that far. What we are thinking about right now is how the Blue Devils only have one loss to Texas Tech, who actually ended up getting upset this morning by the UCF Golden Knights basketball. So, I guess they weren't going to stay undefeated. You'd like the teams we lose to, you like them to do better to boost up our resume when it comes to the end of the season. But Joe Lunardi, according to his bracketology, still has the Blue Devils ranked as a number 1 seed, one of those top 4 seeds over the entire bracket. It's all about getting the number 1 seed in your region to make sure that we get the easiest possible schedule, easiest possible path. That's the word I'm looking for, to a national championship come March. But this was a very dominant win for the Blue Devils. It felt like even though our shooting wasn't the best, we were just getting offensive rebounds at will, and it was just really a standout game for Cameron Boozer, of course, leading all Duke Blue Devils in every single stat. But let's jump into some of the other stuff we have to talk about with recruiting. Trevor Manhertz was a recruit who was being linked to Duke 21 days ago when I made that video. More recently, he ended up committing to Indiana. Now, a lot of people were pointing out the fact that Duke was in his final 3 and he was being touted as a highly rising prospect. So the question was, how fast is he rising, and will he be able to rise higher than 64th, where he is currently nationally ranked by 24/7 Sports? He's ranked as a 4-star, which is good. But, people were expecting that if you are going to be recruited by Duke, usually our recruits are higher rated than that. So Manhertz, his father, worked for a couple years with the Iron Dukes program at Duke University. So he had some connections to the school, which is what could have led to him being linked to us. But overall, Duke never actually sent a formal offer to Trevor Manhertz, and he decided to commit to Indiana. But we got nothing bad to say. Good luck to Trevor in his college basketball career. Wishing nothing but the best for this young man. But let's talk about another young man being linked to the Duke Blue Devils, Jordan Smith, who is currently being projected by 24/7 Sports' Crystal Ball as Duke being the favorite where he is expected to go. They have him as Duke 100%. I was in my little, building it up, talking about the crystal ball. I was about to say, he is 100% going to Duke, but if he was 100% going to Duke, he would be signed. And also, NIL, transfer portal era of college athletics, nothing's really ever a 100% certainty. So I don't want to read 100%. Just know Jordan Smith is a player that the Blue Devils are expected to acquire out of recruiting. Let's break down this guy's profile because it is extremely, extremely exciting. This guy is an absolute monster. He is a combo guard from Fairfax, Virginia, standing 6'2", 200 pounds. A little bit on the smaller side. We've talked about it at length on this channel before, and I will talk about it at length in the future. Jon Scheyer loves tall guards. He likes height at every single position. He's trying to build out an oversized roster, just like what we had last season, where the Duke Blue Devils were the tallest starting five, and I believe the tallest entire roster in all of college basketball. So 6'2" is a little bit shorter than you would expect out of the starting point guard for Duke. Also, remember, some people have pointed out in the comment section, which I think is really smart, Deron Rippey Jr. shorter guard and Jordan Smith shorter guard. Although 6'2", is that really, it's Jon Scheyer Duke short. It's not short for college basketball standards, but he is rated as a 5-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports, given a 98 overall ranking, ranked as the second best player nationally, not in the 90s. That would be bad. Second overall nationally, number 1 combo guard, number 1 player in the state of Virginia. I believe I read this off earlier, but if I did not, currently plays for Paul VI Catholic in Fairfax, Virginia. And if we look at the 24/7 Sports composite rankings, which is a combination of 24/7 Sports' rankings, Yahoo recruiting rankings, and On3 and Rivals, and every single recruiting website out there, they add them up, average it down, and get an average ranking for this player. And then they put it on their website as the 24/7 Sports composite ranking. So 24/7 Sports has him rated as a 98, compositely rated even higher as a 99.8. That's out of 100, out of the 1, which is how they have it here. 5-star rated a .9985. Same rankings across the board. Number 2 player overall nationally, number 1 combo guard, number 1 player in the state of Virginia. So Jordan Smith, absolute beast and projected to land with the Blue Devils. But not talking about projections, let's talk about some things that are actually set in stone, which is the pathway that we have coming up here. It's going to be really tough to not overlook either one of these next 2 Tuesday night games, especially this Boston College game coming up, because it is so easy for Duke fans and Duke players to just look at the calendar and find out when are we playing North Carolina. This afternoon, we heard it announced that College Game Day Basketball will be headed to Chapel Hill to cover this game, so there's going to be even more press around it. People are talking about Duke versus UNC, but we cannot forget the fact that we have another game before today, Saturday, the January 31st, and Saturday, February 7th. There's another game in between there. We have to be ready for Boston College. Make sure that we are not overlooking the BC Eagles. They, while not a ranked team currently, they definitely have some dudes that can play, and we cannot overlook them, because any loss could be the loss that knocks us out of that 1 seed that we are chasing for that March Madness bracket when that comes out. But that Duke UNC game, of course, cannot wait for that. UNC has a phenomenal guy as well in terms of college basketball and in terms of NBA prospect rankings in Caleb Wilson. That's going to be a really tough game. And then in 2 weeks, on February 14th, we got another tough ACC test in the Clemson Tigers. So should be a very, very entertaining 2 weeks here. And I can't wait to see how we will be handling these challenges. Also, there's one more thing to point out. If we let's say we beat BC and then beat UNC, and then we are, it's Sunday morning, we're coming off the win versus UNC. Looking ahead, we have a week until a ranked game. That Pittsburgh game is going to be extremely, extremely, extremely easy to overlook. Got to remember, take it 1 game at a time. And I know I'm kind of being hypocritical there because I'm talking about games further than 1 game in advance, but I'm not playing the games. So I can do it. But can't wait to see how this stuff shakes out. That's what I got for this video. Like I said earlier, we're going to be getting back to daily posts / we're going back to about 5 or 6 posts a week. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Duke.